Not a lot going on this week, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to ramble my brains out and fill this episode up. So welcome to Tangent Town, population U. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here. This is Adorama Rewind. Not a lot of crazy stuff happened this week, some fun stuff to talk about, but there are some really big things coming out soon. I can't talk about them, obviously, but I'm filming like mad this week. All sorts of videos from cameras, lenses, even lighting. So get subscribed. You're not going to want to miss that in the next week or two, okay? Also, don't forget, guys, Adorama will be closed for half of September, so check the holiday schedule. If you're looking to get anything, start thinking about getting it now. But for right now, let's go right into the, I guess, news. Nothing too crazy, but let's start off with Nikon. They are discontinuing the Coolpix B6100, which I think has only been out for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years max. They're just citing that they can't get parts, and that's to be expected, but there's a few other things they are discontinuing, like the close-up Speedlight, the R1 kit that I mentioned to you with the Flashpoint macro flash that got released last time. Also, the wireless Speedlight Commander SU800 and a few other things, so be on the know about that. This is not unexpected, and it is not only Nikon. There are plenty of other brands and products that we're seeing being discontinued, mainly because sales, and there's been evolutions of systems, and a lot of brands do tend to hold on to older products or models, I should say, when they kind of don't have to, especially if they look at the sales numbers and see where things are going. And also keep in mind that a lot of things get released 2 years after development cycle, so things just have to come out into the market after they spent so much on R&D and just creating the actual product, so it hits the market whether they want it to or not. Sometimes it is what it is. If this is a camera you've been interested in and it's been on back order and you're wondering what's going on, it might be a good idea to start looking at other alternatives for what you've been looking at feature-wise in that camera. But also look at the accessory list that you've been eyeballing from Nikon, because they might have discontinued something you've been looking at otherwise. But let's talk about some stuff that actually is coming into market. New fun stuff, yay, we love that. Laowa, Venus Optics, is bringing us a bunch more lenses from mounts that have still been evolving, like the Nikon Z mount or the Canon RF mount, which is a full frame mirrorless lineup from both of those brands. But even stuff like, I don't know, the L mount that is Lumix, Sigma, and Leica, and even the Canon EOS M mount, which is their mirrorless crop sensor body. So the crop sensor APS-C mirrorless from Canon is a different mount than the full frame RF mount, and they're kind of putting out stuff. I feel like the M mount kind of gets left alone a lot because it's such a bubble of a mount, but it is a market out there, and it is a really popular system, especially the M50 Mark II. Yeah, so I'm talking a lot, let's just jump over there and take a look at this. They're adding mounts to existing lenses. These aren't new lenses, but they're adding them for the systems, right? So the 4mm 2.8 fisheye, which is literally a circular fisheye, the 9mm f2.8 0D, which is a super ultra wide, but 0D means almost no distortion, not completely gone in some situations, but it's actually incredible. The 24mm f14 2x macro probe, which is a super unique and really fun lens when you find the application for it, and the 25mm f2.8 2.5 to 5x ultra macro. But yeah, a little tiny 4mm ultra wide circular fisheye for the Z mount. I mean, look at this thing. You will actually get these really wide angle circular fisheye shots. We all know what a fisheye shot looks like. It's super fun to have in your bag, and it's actually a pretty low cost option out there at about $200. And the 9mm, look at this thing. It's 9mm, but look at the no distortion. Let me see if I can shrink this down, make it a little better. Look at that. 9mm, but still pretty straight lines for the most part. It's insane what you're able to do with this. It is a different way of thinking when you shoot with these lenses, of course, but if you are in the Nikon Z system, you have the 9mm, 4mm available. You also have the 15mm 2.1 zero distortion cine lens, which is nice if you're doing a lot of filmmaking. The 9mm, of course, we just talked about that. But this one, the 24mm, is now available for the Canon RF and Nikon Z. Now, this is a really interesting lens. It's just a very particular lens. We actually use this lens to film inside the viewfinder of the Fujifilm X100V, so we could show you guys the switch from optical to EVF to like mixed hybrid. Let me go over to that really quick. So this is my video for it on Adorama TV if you haven't seen it. We're actually filming with the lens right up against the EVF, and we were inside. So you can see how this camera switches optical to EVF and to mixed. This is being filmed with that lens. It was one of the coolest things ever. If you haven't seen this video, go check it out. I was actually pretty psyched in that video, and I absolutely love that camera. But I'm digressing, tangents all around. And there's other options, like the EOS M gets a 33mm 0.95 lens right there. So if you're in that system, you might want to take a look at that. Pretty interesting. It's always good to get more options out there as far as lenses, especially different price ranges and just like different optics, not just a 35mm f1.4 for everybody. No, this one is a 4mm circular fisheye, or a no distortion 9mm, or a macro probe lens, which is pretty awesome. This actually has a light source at the edge of the lens, so if you're filming somewhere that it actually is a probe, like inside of a tube or something like that, or inside of a car engine maybe, you actually have a light source on the tip of, it's a ring light. It's basically a ring light built into, a tiny little ring light built into the lens itself. Very cool lens, very interesting, and one of our filmmakers has found really cool ways of using it, where he drags along blades of grass so he can like really look, it gives you like this snake type view with the lens, obviously, because it's like a probe lens. I feel like I am rambling like crazy today, probably because there's not a lot of news. Let's jump around. Also just announced this week, Flashpoint put out a new Speedlight. So you have the lithium ion 3, the R2 system. Over here, you can check it out. What's new about this thing? Well, you have this modeling light, so that's a nice little addition. It has 10 levels of dimming, so you can kind of have it how you want. I'm curious to even try this thing out for some sort of pop and blur, little ghosting action. I'm curious if there's something I can do with that. But it's nice to have a model light on a speed light, especially if it's off camera. You can really quickly just get an idea of where your light's going and how it's spreading and stuff like that. Also, you get the quick switch over here, which allows you to go from manual and TTL modes, which is something that Pro Photo has had for years. So it's cool to see it here as opposed to a button that you have to hold and then it switches over. It's really quick and easy. There's less chance of a mistake where you think you held it for long enough and you didn't or something like that. Word to the wise, it's in a part of the flash that I would put tape on the switch. So if you're someone that, like me, that's a mook, totally grabbing my camera from the on-camera speed light, my thumb hits switches like crazy, throw a piece of gaff tape on that after you change your adjustment and just you know, peel it off, make your adjustment, and then put it back over, and you'll be good. And you also get the quick release lock, which is a nice addition because you don't have to worry about a screw down type system. And sometimes if you put too much pressure down, there's issues. Well, they gave you the quick release lock that they've had in some previous models, but they add it here as well. And a few other things, but it is just an updated model to the Flashpoint Zoom Lithium Ion 3 R2 Speedlight. It is available for multiple systems. Sony, Pentax, Pentax. You guys don't have a lot of third-party light support. Well, you got it here. Pentax, Olympus, Panasonic, which is the same shoe. Nikon, Fujifilm, and Canon, of course. Olympus. So everybody's been kind of wondering what the fate of Olympus is, because the fate of Olympus, it sounds like an action movie. The fate of Olympus, or an anime. Anime or action film? Let me know down below. They were bought by a company, and now they're wondering what's going on with Olympus. We thought the Olympus name was going to, the brand name itself was going to go away. It seems like they're going to keep that Olympus name for a few more years, but they are going to change the actual naming of the models, which I am super welcoming beyond belief, because it's been like a jumble of letters and numbers forever. So it'll still be Olympus for a few more years, the OM system, and now instead of it being the OMD EM X1 LMNOP, it'll be the OM1D, the OM5D, the OM10D, which for guys like me that do these videos where you have to say these model names over and over again, thank you. If you're an Olympus user, let me know what you think about this. I think there was a lot of worry going on that the whole system was going away if you were invested in the system, that it was just ending, but it doesn't seem like it is. They are still going to be putting out new cameras and lenses. It's just, I don't know how long we're going to see the Olympus branding name on the camera bodies, but does that even matter to you? Let me know down below about that. Another really cool thing that's out there, the Quik App by GoPro is giving you guys some free stuff if you're a subscriber. So you can actually get unlimited cloud storage with the Quik App by GoPro. And the Quik App is pretty awesome, actually. It's $10 a year, so you do pay that subscription, but they're just giving you guys the unlimited cloud storage, which is pretty great. You do get some really cool stuff just for subscribing. One of the things that I saw was really cool is that you have automatic video creation. They give you filters, music choices that are original music, so you shouldn't get copyright strikes, stuff like that, some themes and stuff. I have not used this app. I don't know much about it, but I have heard that it's pretty well fleshed out, that there are a lot of cool options, and for $10 per year, it seems kind of awesome. Let me know if you are a Quik App user. I would love to know how that automatic video creation works for you. I'm wondering if what it goes by. I'm sure it goes by like sound. If something like changed, if it was louder, it knows that something changed right there in the video footage. I'm sure it goes by if a scene has suddenly changed based on like the exposure or something like that. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but they have done some pretty cool things, and we have seen a lot of automatic video creation tools coming up where it may not be exactly what you wanted. You may not have total creative control over it, but you get something fast that's usable and up on a platform somewhere. And I'm sure if you're doing something with a GoPro where it's like skydiving or something like that, it's not the most narrative intensive video feed that you need. So let me know if you use it. I would love to know your experience with it. Let me know what GoPro you're using. I want to hear about all that kind of stuff. So hit me up down below. Speaking of video creation, I don't know, Blackmagic, you kind of crazy. The Ursa Mini Pro 12K has just dropped dramatically in price. This actually happened like a week ago. I didn't talk about it, but yeah, it went from 10 grand to 6 grand, and this is not a sale. This is the price of the Blackmagic design Ursa Mini Pro 12K camera. So if you've been looking at this, if you've been eyeballing it, this is almost half off. That's 4 grand off the original price. I don't know what's going on. I couldn't give you any insight into what they're thinking. I don't know if this is a liquidation thing. I don't know if there's something new coming or if the entire line is dropping down. But what this does do is put the Ursa Mini 12K in the product range and price, the price range of the Canon C70, the Sony FX6, things like that, where this could be a viable option for people that are looking at things in that price range to get started building a kit. That's pretty interesting. Blackmagic has definitely disrupted the industry one way or another, whether it comes to pricing, options, versatility. I mean, they've done things like the ATEM mini switcher, which totally has helped out independent small scale live streamers or anyone doing multi-feeds. The Blackmagic Pocket camera alone has been such a monumental thing that has changed so much. It just, I want to say it hasn't changed so much. It actually has created so much more accessibility. And does that happen here as well? 12K for 6 grand? Let me know down below. I know there's mixed feelings about the Ursa 12K, but it seems to be doing pretty well. I'm just thinking 4 grand off. This is kind of crazy. It's almost similar to Fujifilm when they did the GFX 100 and then put out the GFX 100S, which I own now. GFX 100, 10 grand. GFX 100S, 6 grand. It's almost like identical the way they did this, except it's a new camera body. This is actually the same with a price drop. It's kind of nuts how things move. I'm also wondering if someone bought this at 10 grand, how are they feeling right now? Speaking of all this filmmaker stuff, I don't know if you realize this, but there was Filmmaker Week here at Adorama just recently. We've been dropping non-stop videos and content for you guys, live streams, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to just chuck you guys over to the Adorama blog, which is 42 West, and there are 10 tons of articles here. We got the Sony FX9 hands-on review, the C70 hands-on review for cinematographers, also have essential list of lightweight gear for filmmaking, all sorts of articles to keep you guys informed in making decisions out there about what you're trying to do, and a lot of other articles that you guys can sift through. So don't sleep on the 42 West blog, but also on Adorama TV, there's been all these Filmmaker Week videos. You can see them by the yellow thumbnail. Let me make this really big. So we had Nick Davis, an incredibly talented filmmaker, do a spec food commercial with a red Komodo and Diesel film Vespa lenses. You get to see what those really look like, how he worked. Also have Samuel Boré doing a music video overview. This was a very cool shoot, and he really takes you through it. A very talented filmmaker right here. So, and I also think music videos are something that's super pertinent right now. A lot of people are making them because there's so many independent artists, both filmmaking and musicians. So this might be something you really want to check into. You know, you can do a music video on a very small scale and just get very creative with it. He shows you more of a proper way of doing things, so it's good to know that and maybe relate it to your own work. Breaking down an outdoor commercial with a Sony FX6, really cool. You get to see what actually went into filming the commercial, so it's kind of like a quick BTS and a tutorial on what happened there. Shooting and shaping natural light on a spec commercial, so if you're a filmmaker that could brush up on some lighting techniques, got you covered here. And these are relatively short videos. You're talking 3.5 minutes, longest being under 12 minutes. You're kind of crazy not to check this stuff out. Filmmaker Week was great. And also on the Twitch channel, if you were looking to edit video, I had Casey Farris come on the channel and go live to teach you guys about DaVinci Resolve. So right here you have him going through color grading and a lot of correction and stuff like that. And you can see the chat going on the side. If you missed it live, not a big deal. Maybe someone asked the questions you were wondering about. It's right there for you to go back as a reference. And maybe we'll do this again. Let me know down below in the comments if you were into this. We will try to organize this again. But he did 3 days of live streams with DaVinci Resolve, and he went through everything. Even went through Fusion for some effects. So don't sleep on this. Go check it out. I'll put the links down below for all the streams that he did, and also just go join the Twitch channel. We're doing stuff like this all the time, including tonight. If you're watching this on the release Sunday, this is going to be Daniel Norton doing old school Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, that Daniel Norton, the guy you've been watching doing lighting videos all the time. He is doing Dungeons and Dragons his way on our channel, 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight, this Sunday. If you are watching this later, it'll still be up on the channel. You can watch it back. Super fun if you're into Dungeons and Dragons. And then next Sunday, September 5th, we are doing a big one. Intel Gamer Days. We are raising money for Breast Cancer Research Foundation with a Guilty Gear Strive tournament. We do these tournaments, the Adorama Charity Cup, every 2 months. So it's a bi-monthly tournament, and there's always amazing prizes going on, especially this time around with Intel Gamer Days. You don't have to play to be involved. If you don't want to enter the tournament, that's fine. You can still show some support by donating through this link I'm going to put down below. And also, you can just hang out in the chat. If you're not aware of how these games work, there's commentators that walk you through it and everything that's going on there. So just check it out. You do have to register in through our Discord, which I have talked about how many times every week so far. So if you're not, hit the Discord link down below. You might want to be part of that, especially if you want to ask some questions. But this is to raise money every 2 months. We do the charity. This one hits pretty close to home. My sister is a breast cancer survivor, so I'm hoping we can do pretty well on the donations on this one. So please check out all the links down below and join us on the Twitch channel for special events like this, Dungeons and Dragons, and also the DaVinci Resolve classes that we just had with Casey Farris. And there's more coming and new hosts coming. So you guys are missing out if you're not part of the Twitch channel. Just saying. Just saying. Also with Intel Gamer Days, there's a ton of deals going on, so make sure you check back on the link below right here. Intel Gamer Days, August 27th through September 5th. I mean, everything has some sort of markdown somewhere, so there's a big deal. It happens once a year, Intel Gamer Days, and of course, there is the Adorama Charity Cup to kind of cap it all off on September 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the Twitch channel. But don't sleep on this. If you're looking for PCs, especially, I know some of you are out there getting ready to go back to school. Some of you have gotten into gaming and you need a computer at more power at home for what you're doing working from home. Check out the towers and the laptops right here. A lot of great PCs on sale and some good stuff. So don't sleep on that either. Okay, shout out of the week. I'm going to give this to a woman that has been in every comment section of every video I think I've ever put out there, has always popped up and lent in some insight. And she's doing some pretty cool work. And as a working photographer out there, Dana Goldstein Photo, go ahead and give her a follow. She's shooting such a wide array of work and some really cool stuff. I actually think she shoots with the GFX 100, which is a 100 megapixel medium format camera. If you're interested in seeing what comes out of a camera like that, well, here you go. So go ahead and hit follow on her. Look at this woman right here. Boom, working hard, showing the BTS over here. I mean, look at this woman working hard right here. She's tethering outside, shooting those portraits, getting the job done. Go ahead and hit follow on Dana Goldstein. And for question of the week, I'm stuck on this whole idea of discontinued, and I'm wondering what's something in this industry over the century it's been around. What has been something that's been discontinued that you absolutely miss or freaked out and started buying a ton of? For me, it was easily Fuji FP100C film. I think a lot of people are going to answer with film type things because we're down to such few options out there. There are a lot of options, but not as many as there were. And the other thing was Photoflex at the time was calling it a day before someone bought them. And they put out this whole thing saying, oh, we're leaving the industry. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for everything. And I really liked their softbox at the time. They were the best quality for the mid-range price. And they made the sizes and things that I really liked a lot. So I went bananas and bought like 4 of every type of softbox I use on the norm. And then it was like a month later, it said, psych, we got bought. Hey, so we're going to keep making stuff. And I was like, anyway, let me know down below what's been discontinued in this industry that you miss, that you freaked out about, that, or maybe that you thought was a big deal, but then ended up not being that big of a deal because something new came out or you found an even better replacement for yourself. All right, that's gonna do it for me. My name is Seth Miranda, Last X Witness on all social. You can check out my work on Instagram, join me live on Twitch, yell at me on Twitter, or follow my YouTube channel right here for some tutorials. And yeah, don't forget to like, share this video around, hit subscribe, plus the bell to get notified when all those videos I'm filming this week come out. You can learn about some really amazing new products. I wish I could tell you about them, but NDAs galore, and I don't feel like getting sued. All right, guys, you're just not worth me getting sued over, okay? I love you guys, but I'm not worth that. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Peace.